Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
Go, Jerry.
If there's one... Oh, is this the go? This is Jerry.
This is Gaby.
This is Enrique.
This is the Board Game Snobs podcast.
It is. I'm the primary host.
This is a podcast
About
board games
best friends
and banter.
and mustaches
And
and sleeveless shirts.
Enrique got pulled over by the police the other day.
Enrique, what happened?
I'll tell the story because Enrique is incapable of telling a riveting story.
No, wait. First, let's let Enrique try, and then you go back, and we'll decide.
That's a bad idea.
We'll put a poll up
Man,
on Twitter.
You're giving out some very bad ideas.
Some
Clear your mind.
very bad ideas.
Really bad ideas.
Prepare your vocal cords and your ear hole and tell us the story.
Prepare your ear
All right,
holes.
all right.
How do you prepare your ear holes?
That air hole.
Air hole?
Your mouth. Your mouth.
You're an air hole.
Your throat jam.
Throw jams.
Go ahead, Enrique.
All right,
Go. Got it?
so-
Tell the story.
What happened?
He got harassed by the police.
Jerry, let Enrique tell it.
It was a cold February evening.
No, let me turn off your mic, Jerry.
All right, so every
I've
month,
turned off Jerry's
me-
mic so he can't interfere.
So every month, me and my father do
Riveted so far.
excellent. Yo, daddy. But no, every month, me and my father go to work to do the Pizza Huts.
Mm-hmm. What do you do at
When
said
you
Pizza
say
Huts?
do the Pizza Hut,
Oh.
what does that imply?
Are you robbing Pizza Huts? Are you the Pizza Hut bandit?
No,
Are you Pizza the Hut?
You can't out Pizza the Hut. Oh, yes, I can. My 12 gauge and my ski mask. No, y'all take care of the maintenance at all the...
You clean them.
yeah,
Yes.
we
You clean the floors.
Yeah, we clean the carpets at the Pizza Hut.
Clean the carpets.
So, okay, on
So,
your way
got
to the
you.
Pizza Hut.
So we were getting done with one of the Pizza Huts in Denison,
There you were.
and we were
Texas.
Yep. So we were heading to Durant,
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Where DMB is soon to play.
Yeah.
So
Dave Matthews Band live September
I'm talking about
2020
grass.
at the Choctaw
Into me.
Casino.
That's what I'm talking about.
Listen up, all you white middle-aged men.
I will have my hacky sack at the ready.
Oh, yes. Our cargo pants. I'm ironing my cargo pants as we speak.
Okay, is it wrong that I have nothing but cargo shorts?
No, it's because you need to have all
I'm
your
very dead.
things carried on you whenever you need them.
I might need my
You
stuff
need your
in my
hands
pockets.
free for making friends.
Shaking hands and playing
Shaking
hacky sack.
hands. All right, Enrique.
Smoking doobies.
So, tell me, how did you feel when the cops gave chase to your unmarked white van?
okay, so
Wait. Your van has no markings?
One of the vans has no markings. The other van has markings on it. But go ahead. That's not
Which
the point.
van were you in?
The marked van or the unmarked van? It's important.
oh god, why are you putting me in this type of
It
situation?
doesn't matter. Just go ahead.
No, I really am curious. Oh, Jerry.
I'm sorry. That was the fire alarm going off. Somebody ran into the Dollar General.
Well,
A car accidentally drove through the Dollar
what are you
General.
going to do for them right now?
Well, because I'm sorry,
why do you have that on your phone?
I am still okay. Number one,
We will constantly be here playing games, recording podcasts, and Jerry has his firefighter from Antlers alert system on, and all he does is listen. You're just like a nosy.
well, it's
I like to see what's going on,
I'm
Sonny.
supposed to have this on
Why?
whenever I'm out and about.
Oot and a boot.
Out and about, so that when something happens, I can respond. It's unfortunate that I happen to be away because right now it seems like
what
somebody
would you do?
ran. Well, the Dollar General's not far from my home. I would
Excuse me,
respond.
sir. Can I perform the Heimlich maneuver on you?
You don't even know. You're
Maybe
making
he's choking on a
making
Cheeto.
a fool of
You can
yourself.
go over there and help
Making
him
a fool of
resuscitate him. Oh, quick
Suffocation.
question. Rick, quick question.
What?
With the first aid system,
Correct.
we watch movies and they pound their chest
Yes.
to the beat of, if you know what and then the Bee Gees count,
Yeah. Staying alive.
staying alive. So you pound their chest to that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still supposed to breathe down the throat or not?
Most lay people don't have to. We tell them, don't worry about that. Just do the compressions.
So if they are choking and you breathe down their throat, are you not shoving it down further their esophagus?
Yes, and here's the thing: if you do the Heimlich until they go unresponsive. So
you breathe down their throat.
Yes, and the idea is if you had like a hot dog, I'm assuming you'd be choking on a hot dog.
I would be choking on a hot dog. I love hot dogs. Chili dogs.
Just blow the hot dog down into your
a pate.
Yeah.
I prefer a pate dog.
You would blow the pate dog down into your lungs.
I put some pate on a hot dog bun.
Okay.
Bury it in chili and cheese. And then eat it.
That's nasty. Enrique, back to your harassment by the police.
Then I start choking. I'm like, Jerry.
I'm not.
No, wait. If you're coughing, I've heard that means you're not choking.
Well, all right. You're moving air. You're trying not. It's when you can when you stop coughing. That's it. That's it. That's what it sounds like.
It's kind of gross.
It is gross. That's the throat.
Do you ever
stick jam? You don't have that
throat jam like a traffic jam, but it's in my throat.
Jam. Enrique, so you got.
Do you put your finger down their throat?
You generally don't. I think again, there's two different types of CPR training. One for professionals and one for people who are just
for the layman.
They tell you don't stick your finger down somebody's throat because your finger is approximately the size of
it's a hot dog.
Of a hot dog. So if you stick your finger down in somebody's throat, you're liable not to do anything.
Right.
Whereas Enrique's little finger.
I'm going to remove their uvula.
Yes.
I have very fat
What's
fingers.
this? What's this? That's my appendix.
This is it. Let me take this out. Give me some nail clippers. Clip on my uvula.
Enrique.
I will put it up in my gym room and bounce it.
Stop this. This is getting morbid. I want to hear about your harassment by the police.
All right, so as soon as we're going to Durant to do the last Pizza Hut.
You're going from Denison to Durant in your unmarked white van.
And they pulled you over for a tag light out.
Yeah, tag light.
That's what they told you.
They
So
said.
as soon as the woman police
A woman policewoman? Yeah, it's just a police officer.
You could just say police officer.
It's just a police officer.
Without being,
I know
like
women can be
sexist.
police officers, you bigot. Go ahead and check yourself. No wonder you got pulled over.
Goodness.
I don't care.
Goodness. Such closed-minded individual. I've done my best to train
Why
you.
is he even here?
But no, I'm
surprised this 17-year-old millennial doesn't know that.
Misogynist. How old are you now?
20.
See?
Okay.
This will tie into the story later. Go ahead. So she pulls you over, and when did they start the search?
Basically, when what do you mean the search?
They asked you for your driver's license.
Okay, so
And you don't have a driver's license.
I didn't have my ID.
You don't even have a wallet.
And
Wait. Quick question. You say ID. What does that mean? Your driver's license?
He doesn't have a driver's license.
No, I'm asking him. You be quiet. Enrique, when I ask you for your ID, is it your driver's license?
no,
Why is that?
it's just because I don't have a driver's license. It's like you make it sound like
Because you're 20 years old, right?
yeah.
And you don't have a driver's license.
No.
So what is an ID at 20?
He's got his David Buster's power. That's what he's got. He's got his library card, his David Buster's power play, and his J.C. Penney's
For
rewards
5
card.
tokens, you can get a gummy bear.
Basically, I
Go
didn't
ahead.
have. Okay, so basically, I just didn't have anything to verify of who I was.
Enrique.
I didn't have
Oh.
anything that.
Our
said-
dear son, Enrique.
And so that's when she was
Son
like,
of the podcast,
she starts
Enrique.
questioning him
the
about
thought-
what he's doing out at
The
2
officer does.
a.m.
Okay,
at
so
night.
Enrique's father cleans the floors for many accounts, and he has Pizza Hut as an account. So they have cleaned many Pizza Hut's floors at this point. They're leaving Denison, Oklahoma to go to Durant, right?
Durant.
So they're leaving in their white van full of floor cleaning equipment. Enrique is there with his father and another person.
Yes,
Now,
another
Enrique
gentleman. Yes.
is sleeveless. Now, if you don't know Enrique, he has an aversion to sleeves.
He
which
does not
means
like sleeves.
It doesn't matter what the temperature. He will
Sleeve Rogers.
always wear sleeveless shirts. But in cases of cold weather, he has his jacket with him, which he also rarely uses.
He often wears a short skirt.
With a long
and
jacket.
a long jacket.
So, what
He's
did you-
Irish in his heart.
What did you do with your jacket as the police approached?
So as soon as they were approaching, I quickly just kind of like scrummaged around around the van trying to find my jacket, and then proceeded to just kind of cover my body
May I ask why?
because I didn't have a seatbelt at the time.
Do you have seatbelts at all?
Well, where
that van?
I sit, no, I do not have a seatbelt.
Are you in the
where I
passenger
sit.
seat?
He's in
No.
the middle.
Oh, you're in the back,
Hey,
the
he's
middle
in the
seat.
middle.
Two-seated.
He sits
van.
in the middle.
So I'm just like sitting in this makeshift chair. Just
You
kind
might as
of.
well just have a brick in your lap.
And so, yeah, so,
Just hold you in place.
He thinks that it's
A
wise.
cinder block.
Since he did
They
not
put
have...
a cinder block on his lap, holding it holds him in place.
I don't have a seatbelt. Hold on to this bowling ball.
So as soon as I am putting.
Oh, there goes that piece you always knock out.
As soon as I am putting on this jacket and the police,
So as soon as
And not-
you decide
I
to
then soon
cover
realized-
your arms and hands with a jacket,
So
I realized that.
So
And
you
as
realize you may have made a
As soon as
mistake.
I thought about that, I was like,
so
you know what? I'll just keep this on, see how they react, just to see how.
I'm
it
sure
goes.
that will go swimmingly.
yes,
No,
it did.
So as soon as the police officer got my father and the other gentleman's ID and went to verify them, another police officer came from the other side.
They called for backup. 2 more units arrived at 2 a.m. at an unmarked vehicle. Here for the Denison
another
Police
gentleman
Department.
has come up on the other side of the van asking me personally, did I have any type of my ID to verify who I was?
And so, Enrique, he told you to show me your hands.
and then I
Because they had a bear beneath his jacket.
and then I just kind of like proceeded to just like take it off in a playful way, in a dumb manner, just like, oh, here's my hands.
And that is why you ought not be left to your own devices, because you're going to end up getting shot.
No, it was fine.
So then they asked
You
him.
realize you look like Pablo Escobar, right?
You look like Pablo. I'm posting a picture of his
Enrique has not shaved his mustache yet.
No.
No.
So his passport just came in the mail. I'm posting a picture
so-
on it on our Instagram to show what he looks like. I would not let this man in my house if this.
He has definitely got cocaine somewhere in
Yes.
his body.
Yes, you either
Not in.
you know where or how to manufacture some sort of methamphetamine or narcotic. I'm just saying, with that mustache, you're going to have to do something.
nope.
So what you're saying is these officers in Denison, Texas profiled your father.
Well, no, it was
No.
the tag light was out.
But I thought your father gets out and what happens when he looks at his tag light?
It was on, but it was very dim.
I'm talking to Enrique.
Enrique doesn't know. He's very
Enrique.
dim. Enrique's very dim.
So when they looked at your tag light, was it operational?
It was operational. It was on. It wasn't just apparently not very bright. So it was like,
I don't know about these Denison officers.
it's like it was been fine.
So basically, they pulled you over. They figured out that the tag light really wasn't out, and they let you go.
Yeah.
But you got to admit,
Do you think you're profiled?
you look
No.
pretty suspicious. You don't think
Oh,
you're
no?
profiled?
No.
Driving
Why else
around?
would they pull you over when your tag light was actually operational?
It was
Okay,
dim.
so-
It was very dim.
You were in a white van.
I didn't know where this police officer was, like, kind of parked at, or where
the SWAT team
was.
showed up.
She saw an opportunity to pull us over. To
For what?
Just to
She thought
Just to
she
check you out.
She thought she had some drugs.
yeah, basically she thought she got
Okay.
somebody.
Yeah.
Basically,
And little did she know,
She got
pulled
Pablo Escobar himself.
She pulled over the one unarmed man
Pablo Escobar is
in
finally
the whole area. Well, so that was a harrowing experience for you, wasn't it?
Oh, I was telling my dad this was a very interesting experience.
Yes,
for
this is
me.
why.
Of course you were.
Of course you were.
It was
Of course.
exciting
It
for
was
you.
exciting for you.
You're a
It's just-
man of little means, little knowledge.
and little brains.
That's what that little.
Enrique, nobody said that.
We don't.
I'm just saying,
it's
you're
funny-
like fresh and new to the world.
It's funny to be self-deprecating to a point. After that, it's just sad.
But don't beat yourself
I'm always
down.
sad. That's the thing.
You're
though.
not sad.
Always
You're
sad.
pathetic. There's a difference. Next topic,
I'm pathetically
please.
sad. How
Yes.
about that?
No, Enrique.
Welcome
you're
to the
not.
Pathetically Sad podcast.
Did you know Speaking of
No,
which, did you know human corpses can continue to move for more than a year after death?
No, per our last podcast, I'm doing the banter.
The thought of bodies moving after a person has died sounds like something out of a horror movie, but it may be just a natural phenomenon.
A natural phenomenon. Go ahead.
It says they can move up to a year after death.
Monster Mash. That's what they shake.
Oh, I'm twerking a year after my death.
Twerking
Always
monsters.
Bounce.
I always knew there was something wrong with him. No, really. Now you're dealing with dead bodies, which happens to be something that I know a little bit about. Now it is It's not uncommon for cadavers to breathe. Like you have an amount of dead space in your lungs that often, once you have died, it doesn't empty. And so during moving somebody who's been dead for many hours, many days, often they will release that trapped air and they'll moan, which is very weird.
Creepy.
That is creepy.
Like
it's kind of like whenever you say something that's stupid and I go, Actually, that kind of,
like, Jerry, are you?
that sounds like
Jerry?
that sounds
you
like
okay?
Squidward on SpongeBob.
You actually know what that show is.
I like SpongeBob. I don't like SpongeBob. I think he's super irritating. I understand why Squidward hates everybody. He just wants to be left alone.
Of course you do.
Plays clarinet.
Basically you.
You side with all these type of characters.
Aw.
Yeah, because it's realistic.
It is
Eggshells are being used to grow new human bones.
No, I'm doing the banter because your banter sucks. So,
Oof.
here's what we're going to do. Here is some utterly amazing facts. Did you know that oranges were originally green?
Yes.
You knew that?
I think we discussed
You
that
did not
before
know that.
previously,
You
actually.
did not know that. Even in some parts of Vietnam and Thailand, they stay green throughout the year. Oh, wow.
Did you know a windstorm in Australia nearly interrupted the moon landing broadcast? We're just going to be fighting over facts.
Oh, did you, what?
Well, did you know?
Well, did you know that the Sandra Bullock was almost Neo in The Matrix?
Yes. Everybody knows that.
Nobody knew
Actually,
that.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that.
I thought it was like Will Smith.
He was.
Did you know there's a chapel in Spain that's inside a volcano?
A chapel in Spain
That's in a volcano?
inside a volcano.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like they're going to burn.
That doesn't make any sense.
I hear there's a lot of people going there.
Well,
Get it?
oh, lava.
Did you know anacondas give birth to live babies as opposed to eggs?
You know what? I did not know that. So they just have
You can just like hear like this like.
Apparently, you've never seen Anaconda.
with John Voight. And that's Jennifer Lopez, wasn't it?
I heard they don't want none.
Unless they have Jennifer Lopez in the show. Now, they did Anaconda 2, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
They did? I didn't watch
That
that
is
one.
Anaconda 2.
Was it?
Yes.
Wow.
It concerns myself.
I want to know.
that about it.
I want to know why the Anaconda series didn't take off, but the Fast and the Furious series did.
Because.
How much can you do with
cars.
snakes?
You could do a lot with snakes. There's snakes on a plane.
You can have mutated snakes.
There's snake doctor. There's a lot of stuff you can do with snakes.
Okay.
Different variations of snakes.
What I found on this website was conversation starters that you have with people. And so I thought,
Give me a conversation
before
starter.
we
So if
get-
I was to meet you, like, hello, we're at a board game geek con.
yes, and this is a board games podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all
So
that
I'm
stuff.
like, we've sat down to the same game. I'm like, oh, okay. And you're like, hey, how are you doing? My name is Jerry,
BoardGameSnobs@gmail.com. Send us an email.
and I'm here just playing this game.
I would say, what is something you're obsessed with?
I would say cheeseburgers.
Obviously. What 3 words best describe you?
I believe one is cheeseburgers.
This is terrible. None of these make any
Cheeseburgers, proper 12.
sense. What? None of these conversation starters.
Also, the
Good.
banter's not so easy as you once thought.
Well, to be all honest, you guys
Please be
both
all honest.
No, it's not any good because I know everything about you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's like no point.
Did you know Violet Jessup survived 3 of the largest ship disasters in history, including the Titanic, the Olympic, and the Britannic?
Well, that sounds traumatic.
Stay off of all ships named Nick at the end of it.
Anik?
That seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, anything that ends in Anik is bad.
Titanic, 1912. She was also present in the Olympic ship collision in 1911 and on board during the sinking of the Britannic in 1916.
Anything that ends with Anik, especially at a disco. Pause for effect.
That's a good one right there.
All right. Now, you have the
Miraculously, none of the disasters could take Jessup down. She lived to be 83, passing away in 1971. That is amazing. She was on 3 of the biggest ship disasters. Wait a minute.
Baby,
What?
she's pausing.
Sabotage. If you get that reference, email boardgamesnobs@gmail.com.
Do you know things that are funny, but they're funnier than what they should be to you alone? So people will say things often that they're just not that funny when you think about it. Repeat it. For instance, we were talking to somebody and I said, Brad Pitt's middle name is Arm.
You need to talk more into my microphone.
Brad Pitt's middle name is Arm.
Brad Pitt's middle.
See, that's not funny. That's not funny. But when you think about it, you put a little effort into it. You think, oh, okay. If I were to say Brad Armpit, that's not funny. But saying it that way, phrasing it, there's ways that you phrase certain things that are intrinsically funny.
Exactly.
That just amazes me.
Humor. Humor is hard to. So do you think it would be harder to be a dramatic actor or a comedic actor?
I think that
comedic.
Oh, thank you. You think Enrique just threw it out there? You're telling me that comedy is harder than being a Shakespearean actor?
Well,
or perhaps making yourself cry.
Yeah, because with any type of dramatic actor, you have to be able to show a range of emotions. You have to be able to be sad and happy and get across subtlety. In comedy's not so much about emotion as it is timing, as it is being able, because most comedians will say that. It's all about the timing, like how your jokes land, how you say it. You can have a bad set, have the same jokes, but be told different.
Right.
Yeah. So it's all about timing. It's not about emotion. Whereas...
So what are you saying? You believe it's easier to be dramatic or comedic?
It's easier to be a comedian than to be an actually good dramatic actor.
Really?
Yes. What do you think?
So what makes some people funnier than others?
Work. They put the work into it. Every stand-up.
But you're saying it amounts to timing.
Yeah, no, you put work in it to time yourself. You put an effort into it. It's just the same.
But riddle me this.
I'll riddle you this.
How many dramatic actors have made excellent comedies? How many comedians have made excellent dramaticisms? For instance, I think of Robin Williams.
Correct.
Who won? Did he win? I think he won.
He got close.
For
he did that weird Heaven and Hell movie, and then he did some horror movies.
He did. Well, he was in the
Patch
one with.
Adams.
How about them apples? What's that?
Patch Adams?
No.
Oh, the kid, the Jack.
No, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. How about them apples?
Oh, he was just in that show.
What is the name of that movie?
Good Will Hunting.
I think he was nominated.
He may have been
nominated. Won.
But he was also in Dead Poet Society, which is an
Dead
awesome
Poet
show.
Society, which was like super overly the top dramatic.
Yeah, which is
but that's a comedian being dramatic. But now think of a dramatic person.
Okay.
Being comedic.
A dramatic person being comedic. Now,
where I go to right away is Robert De Niro. Meet the Parents.
I think of Ryan Gosling. He's been in several funny films. I think of Russell Crowe has been in some.
Wait, what's the Russell Crowe Ryan Gosling movie?
That's a detective show. The Good Guys.
The Good Guys.
Yeah. There's several good actors that can be funny. And like I said, it's not you're comparing apples and oranges.
Ryan Reynolds.
Green oranges. To apples. It's simply a matter of timing. And to be a stand-up comedian or anything of that nature.
Orange, you glad I didn't say banana?
You have to work on your timing. You just don't go around saying things.
Was that not the right timing?
No, it's not the right timing. It's not the right timing.
I said that
so, for
too
instance,
early.
so there are some things that are just hilarious when they hit you at the right time.
Ooh, interrupting cow.
Right. No, it's not. See, it's not good. My little girl comes up to me, and we don't have a television in our home.
You don't laugh.
We don't watch
at
television.
home.
Yeah, and I like.
There is no laughter in the Baker home.
I tell my kids, if I see you laughing,
E equals what?
do your arithmetic. We don't have a television, so we don't watch commercials. So when they go to grandma's house, they sit and watch television.
Wait. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have a television.
Yeah, we don't have it hooked up to anything. We don't have a...
No, that's different. Do you have a television?
Let me rewind that.
Please do.
I do have a television.
Because you're going to sound...
I do have a TV. I have a TV. I don't watch it. I don't have anything.
You don't watch Netflix?
I watch Netflix. If I watch Netflix, I watch it on my phone. Or I watch
So why do you have a TV?
Because occasionally, like back in the day, we used to like Netflix a DVD, but then that kind of like just fell out. We just don't watch it. We're just not TV people. We're just not.
I knew you were somewhat.
So my
unique.
kids don't watch commercials is my point. And so
your kids don't know anything about the modern world.
Absolutely. So when they go over to grandma's house.
Do they know Dora?
Yeah, well, yeah, they go to grandma's house and they watch cartoons.
So they go to your grandma's house to escape the reality, the hellish reality they live in.
Yes. And so you realize that your
daughter's going to Dora, take me away.
So I have a 6 and 8-year-old. They now sit at the house, and my grandma doesn't watch a lot of TV, but she watches the news. And
is this your mother or your wife's mother?
My wife's mother. So they watch TV and watch the news, basically. So fast forward to me.
Welcome to
watch me at the computer. My kids are standing around me looking at something, and I'm just scrolling through the MSN.
You're what?
Yeah, I'm at my computer scrolling, looking through news articles.
Sound like you said screwing.
Yeah, MSN, about the same. Looking through the news articles, and my little girl goes, "That's President Trump." And I said,
Trump.
And I said, "What?" And I looked at her. She says, "Yes, he's afraid of Bloomberg." And I just looked, and I said, what? Oh. And then here comes my.
They're learning more at your mother's house than your house.
And here comes my little boy. He hears this. He says, "President Trump."
I heard President Trump.
They come over, and so this hits me like a ton of bricks.
Did someone say Bloomberg?
It's like hilarious because my kids do this infomercial for Bloomberg, and they're like, "Oh, but he doesn't like Bloomberg." I was like, "Where did you get? What are you talking about?" And I talked to my wife. It's like, "Yeah, they watch the news and they just whatever on television." So it's very fascinating to hear, and it's.
You need to introduce them to Seinfeld.
No. I told my little girl has autism and she's bad at jokes, and so I tell her jokes.
So she's like you.
Yes, I tell her jokes that she can repeat, and some of her
like what?
Well, like things that you know are not going to be offensive,
okay,
and appropriate. So, like one of her jokes was like always, she said like a red ship and a blue ship ran into each other, they got marooned. that's stuff like that. So
well played.
She'll pick up little
Jerry's
things
daughter
that she knows that she can repeat. That's not going to be crazy. Whereas my 6-year-old he just farts. That's
classic.
That's classic. He has that lowbrow. And so it's really sad to see my little girl who's like pitching her best material. Like she's pulling up what has 4 legs and doesn't.
I need to get with her.
Yeah,
give her some new material.
She's telling stuff, and Jack's over here just farting and he gets better laugh. And it's like this lowbrow humor. Yeah, it's like
he's hilarious.
So that's kids, and it's just now. Why am I not talking about my kids?
You started it.
We're talking about comedy. We're talking about comedy.
Comedy versus drama.
Right. And so it's just a different thing for each people. Are we done with the banter? Can we move on to
we've been in it like for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm done with
Did you know the word friends is said in every episode of the show? Friends?
You know, I've probably watched like 3 episodes of Friends. I hate that show.
It's pretty terrible. But it's like really like popular right now.
Somebody
for some reason.
cut the laugh track out of it and just aired the episodes like on YouTube. and it's insane. That and Big Bang Theory, and it's crazy. There's just not any jokes. It's just people interacting with each other in a smarmy way. Smarmy, man, that's a good word. Is that a word?
That is a word.
Yeah,
it mixes smug and marmy.
There is nothing more smarmy than Chandler. That guy, he just thinks he is it. He
is it.
He's not it.
What has
he done? That whole
he makes do you even know Chandler?
No. It's just
he does bring something. He brings bad jokes to the table,
which is basically what you do. Oh, what did you do that for? Why did you go like that? Don't do it. He winked at me and went with that little cluck with his mouth, that little tongue.
Yeah.
What is that?
He's very confident in
If
himself
you're
right
under
now.
50, you can't do that. That's like, I'm going to the track today, but put a few pounds down on the ponies, you know what I'm saying? That's not no, you don't do that.
He's very confident in himself
You
right now.
got that mustache and you've been crazy ever since.
No, it's been ever since I started wearing sleeveless shirts again.
Okay, this is the topic of discussion I want to talk about.
Oh, so we're not going to talk about
sleeveless
Gugong?
shirts?
Let's talk about the topic first. Then we'll finish with Gugong, because I want to be done with Gugong.
No, talk about Gugong. Go.
Okay, Gugong. I can go for Gugong.
Go, Gugong. Go.
Gugong, made by TNG.
A revisit to Gugong, because we discussed this game previously.
This is what I want to bring out. One of our fans, he might not be a fan anymore, I don't know.
Listener, not a fan.
He sent us an email saying, "Oh, I love Gugong.
He may be a fan, I don't know.
I heard you talk bad about Gugong."
Pacify yourself, my friend.
We have not replayed Gugong, and so I took it upon myself to relearn Gugong and to play it again, because I emailed him and said, you know what? I'm going to give Gugong another chance.
Give Gugong another go.
Number one,
Giddy up.
I did not like the rule book in it. I thought the rule book was very poor. Number two,
Never looked at it.
I know. Gaby taught the game. And then, as we're playing the game, I'm looking through the rule book and realizing that there are some
Sorry, I only watch
rules.
YouTube videos.
Yes, there are some rules for which are somewhat convoluted in the game that he didn't catch, nor did I. So, anyways, we played the game. We played it correctly. And to give it a ranking, which everybody likes ranking games, giving them a number, Gugong on my scale of
Between 0 and 10.
0 and 10. Before we played it, it was about a 2.5. It was a game that I felt no need to play. It's all right. I don't really know why people enjoyed it. It's just a simple mechanic with convoluted rules, with separate areas on the board. You're just moving up tracks and getting stuff, and it's just a point salad. Don't like it. Don't like the icons. Don't like the design. Don't like the art. Like, there's just nothing with it that I really particularly enjoyed. It's one of those games that felt tired and old and would be forgotten about quickly. It just got a lot of hype, in my opinion. So it's a 2.5. Now that we've replayed it, I've lightened on it. I appreciate some of the mechanics. I see some of the tightness in it. So I'm going to say it's like a 4 to me. It's not as bad as I thought it was. I see why people enjoy it. So it's like one of those jokes that you just don't get. Like, you don't think it's funny, but you see why somebody might watch The Nutty Professor. You see why somebody might like that kind of lowbrow humor. Gugong is one of those games that it seems very dry to me, themeless even, and this one simple mechanic where you're just swapping out cards. But people will tell you
the theme is you're bribing these people.
Right. So the theme of Gugong is you have these decks.
People have said in our responses, the theme is very strong in these cards. You're offering up these bribes to these people to get these special things.
Right. And the idea of the game is the cards are numbered 1 through 9. You play a card higher than the card that's on the table to do that action. You swap them out. That's simple. That's not very thematic to me. But I will say, I'm not judging this game on the theme. I'm judging it on the decisions, how it made me feel, and exactly what it invoked when we played it. I don't like it.
You still don't like it?
It's fine.
So you said 4. It's below average.
It's below average for me. It's below average for me. Now, here's the thing. I know for a fact that if I played this game more, it's simple enough and the icons I've gotten used to.
What makes this game difficult is the entry level to understanding all the icons.
Correct. I think the game would pick up a little bit for me. I think I would come to like it slightly.
You think it would come to a 5 or a 6?
It would go. It might hit a 5. It will never be a 6. It's just
not above average.
It's not above average. I think if I continue to play this, I would say that I would probably end up liking this more than probably a Maracaibo. Here's why. It's quicker. It's quicker to set up.
Tell us why.
Once you have gotten past that entry point, you kind of understand what you're doing. It is a point salad, which I don't like, but there are some various tactics. You do have to think about what you're doing before you play a card. Maracaibo, it was very loose to us. We didn't, and I'm comparing it to that just because that was the next biggest Euro that we played. Truthfully, after playing Gugong and Maracaibo,
I would rather play Gugong.
I would rather play Gugong, which kind of shocked me because Maracaibo is this kind of weird sort of rondelle thing. They're both loose on the theme. They're both cards. But really what it boiled down to are two things. One, Gugong is not as fiddly. And two, I felt like Gugong had better decisions. I had things I had to think about. I had to make some choices in Gugong. Mm-hmm. And so that's why Gugong would slowly rise in my book. It's not something that I'm raving about, but I would say this. If you're the type that you're looking for a variation on a worker placement, you don't mind a difficult, somewhat, in my opinion, not a very well laid out rule book, and you don't mind the point salads. Like if you're a Stefan Feld fan,
I love Stefan.
If you're a Stefan Feld fan, then Gugong would something be up your alley. I would actually recommend it over Maracaibo. And I think in the rankings of all the games I've played, I think Gugong is probably better.
Wait. Of all the games of what?
Better than Maracaibo. I should have been clearer on that. As should have been their rule book. Should have been clearer. That's my thoughts.
Gugong, the first time we played it, I enjoyed it somewhat. It reminded me of Newton and the fact that you just simply have all these tracks. In Gugong, you have traveling, you have the Great Wall, you have intrigue. At the bottom, you have the shipping track. Then you have what's there in the bottom, right?
The bottom is the shipping.
No, then next up.
Oh, it's the little in the game, in the round scoring thing. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, what is that at the bottom right?
It doesn't matter because it's
I'm trying to go. So below that, when you have the jade, you can collect for so many points. It's like 1 jade is a point, 2 jades is 3 points, 3 jades is 6 points, that type of scoring on that. I cannot remember the one spot, and that irritates me. But basically, it's a bunch of various different tracks you can run up. And I like that the options that are available to you. The card play is pretty intriguing as well because I happened to mess myself up because I played a bunch of cards. I didn't really give much thought to it. And then when it got to my last card, I could not play it because I didn't give enough thought to it. I had a 2, and unless you play something greater than the cards that are on the table, you cannot make that action without cubes in your supply, which I did not have, or a card to discard as well, which I did not have. So basically that was a lost move to me. I messed up pretty early and often on this game, so it cost me. I understand that. But yet this is the I guess the second time we played this game. The first time we played it, I felt the same. It gave me the feel of Newton. I like Newton better than Jerry did. I like this game better than Newton because Newton has that book track, the bookshelf that seems very powerful, very strong. If you don't do that, you're out. This game has all these different tracks that give you all sorts of points. It's very varied, and you can do any of them, run them up. And I think if you stick to 2 or 3 of them, that will help you win. I did very bad at all of them. So I came in second. I beat Enrique. But Jerry lapped us nearly. He doubled our points. But I like Gugong. I'm going to say I like Gugong.
I would say, yeah, and I took it home to kind of learn the solo on it. and I didn't particularly enjoy it, didn't think anything about it. But the more I messed with it, the better off I felt like it was. I have come to respect this game more. The more I've played it, the more I've respected it. And so it's just one of those games that, I think perhaps the first few plays of it, it takes a little bit to kind of get the sense of it, to kind of get the feel for it. And so it was not, did it come out this year or was it last year? I think it was
2019.
It is a 2019, so I have to be on the list.
I believe so.
So Gugong, I will admit I've backtracked on it. It's one of the few games that I have reviewed. I don't say we reviewed, that we have discussed, that has come up in my opinion after playing it. Of those games are like Endeavor. When I first played Endeavor, I didn't quite understand what the game was about. It says
2018.
So played Endeavor. Endeavor came up in my book. One of the highest games that has come up in my book was Mombasa. Mombasa I completely did not like, and I have grown to really enjoy Mombasa. And so sometimes there are certain games that when you play and you understand that there's more to the game than what it just presents at the beginning, you kind of have to play it a few more times.
Definitely.
Mull over it, make sure that it's not just mechanics. But no, Gugong is a decent game. It's not in my top 10. It's not in my top 20. It's not in my top 30. It's not one of those games I'm going to be raving about. But it is very functional, and it's okay.
I think there's something to be said for that, because there are games that you're going to play them, and no matter how much you play them, they're going to be the same. And we've discussed this, like the difference between Game of Thrones, the board game, versus viticulture.
Right.
Game of Thrones board game, it can be amazing depending on the the interactions that happen, the negotiation that happens. Chinatown's like strictly negotiation.
Right.
I would like to play that again, just because it's been long enough now. I've forgotten how it feels to be burned extremely. I wouldn't mind playing that again. But there are some games that are always going to be the same. They're not going to level up. They're not going to level down. But there are some games that, for instance, I played Istanbul. I've played Istanbul on the app so many times.
Yeah.
Like, even if they mess up, they can set the tiles down in a different order. I get that. All you're doing is you're doing the same action, but just in different order. And depending on the order, it's somewhat different, but it's the same game. I'm tired of the game. Istanbul will always be about the same ranking it always has been. It's not going to be my top 10. There are some games that increase. Gugong, I'm not that familiar with, so it intrigues me at the moment. But if I was to play it several times, it would probably eventually go down in my rankings, because some games just don't offer that much variability.
Correct. And some games just don't change. They don't get better with age, so to speak. But Gugong is one that I've often said that it's difficult. There are two types of ways of looking at board games. One, there's the objectiveness of it, of looking and going, this game is functional. I can see why people like it. And then two, there's this other flip side of that, of being subjective and going, this is not my thing. On the subjective side, Gugong is fine. For me, I don't particularly like it. Objectively, it's a very functional game. It does what it says. I can see why people would enjoy this game. And so you have to be very careful whenever you're listening to reviews on board games to make sure that the people that you listen to and the recommendations that you're getting, they match up with your tastes. And so that's, one of the reasons that we started this podcast is that we often griped that the mainstream reviewers, their taste in board games were so in a different zone than ours. They did not like anything that we liked. Matter of fact, they loved everything, and they loved games that we straight up hated. And so part of the impetus for us was to try to simmer down and to look for games that we thought were great. And in my opinion, I don't think Gugong is a great game.
No.
It's a decent game.
It's fine.
It's fine. And I enjoyed it, but it's not one that I would just go out and just wholeheartedly be recommending.
Enrique, did you like Gugong? We play a 3-player game.
I would say it was a very basic game. It was just the gameplay was fine.
The icons are a lot to get past. Once you get them down,
He doesn't even see the icons.
I just look at the spaces.
He's like, I can't see it.
The icons were just there.
I can't see
it. Maybe he's like, I can't see it.
It was just for show. That's it.
The icons are for show.
That's all they are.
That's all they show.
That's what they do.
They are the Kylie Jenner of iconology.
They basically
they're just for show.
Really held.
Do you like Gugong? Would you play it again?
Who's your favorite Kardashian?
Just, like pastime, yeah. I would play it again.
In your pastime?
Yeah, and just like
all
pastime.
Time is pastime. When you're not living in
Who's your favorite Kardashian? Jerry just asked you.
All time is pastime if you're not living in the now.
You know Kardashians?
Who are the Kardashians?
You know.
Okay, so
they're those weird-looking lizard people on Star Wars.
Oh, you mean the plastic people?
My favorite Kardashian is Bosk. See?
Kardashians? I see what you're doing.
Oh, that's Star Trek.
I see what you're doing there.
I'm talking about Star Wars.
Have you watched Picard?
I have not.
Okay.
I'm saving it to watch.
Are we going to pod snap the last 4 episodes of Mandalorian or not?
The last 2 episodes of Mandalorian.
We only did like 4.
We did?
Yes,
actually, now that we're talking about
there are only 6, wasn't there?
No. There was 8.
Was there? I can't remember.
So.
Actually, now that we're talking about Star Wars.
What?
You're coming out with the new season for the animated show, right?
Yes, Clone Wars.
Nobody cares. Clone Wars. My microphone has been dislodged from its location.
Throat jam.
Throat jam.
Where do you think it's going to go?
The Clone Wars, they're going to end up...
Spooky.
Hey, will you stop? I'm trying to talk. Jerry's trying to spoke over here to Enrique.
Jerry's spooky. Enrique.
I hate this.
We're done. This is Gaby.
What? Are we done?
Jerry?
Apparently
say
so.
goodbye.
I'm not going anywhere.
What are you going to say?
What do you want to talk about next?
Oh, no, I'm done. What time is it?
All right. It's time for you to go. Your wife has called several times.
Yeah, like 6:01.
This is Jerry. Follow us on Instagram.
Your daughter is yearning for you. Daddy, come home.
Okay.
Enrique?
All right, guys.
Say goodbye to the Denison officers.
Oh, yeah.
That are checking your ID.
Whatever. All right, bye.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.